Danite Radio.
Welcome to the Counter Revolution.
What up? Welcome back. I'm Shadow.
I'm Rocky.
And I'm Jace.
JCP.
Hello.
How are you, gentlemen?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here, man.
Glad to hear it. What are we talking about today?
I don't know.
Oh, one of those unprepared episodes. It's going to be dope.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure we're talking about race again.
I'm tired of that, dude.
Take it a different direction.
I just think that we should be past this by now, you know? But
I think potentially
we're
most of
keeping
them
it
think we
alive.
should too.
yeah, but little do they know they're the ones keeping it alive.
Oh, how dare you?
Ask your boy, the guy with the cool voice that's on all the movies.
Nelson Mandela.
No, the old guy.
Played Nelson Mandela.
Oh, Morgan Freeman. Dang it. Now I feel like an idiot.
Dude, not all black people look the same, bro.
Dude, he's dope, bro.
He's right, though. Stop talking about it, you know? The only reason nowadays that 80% of white kids know the N-word is because of what?
Rap music.
Rap music.
Oh, for sure.
100%, dude.
It's more than 80%. I bet
Yeah.
it's 95%.
Yeah, so either stop giving that word so much power, which is what most people do, or stop using it, you know? So,
There's something to that.
yeah, but you're a racist if you even consider
I don't
an
think
alternative to
I
what's
just-
going on today.
I struggle to think that any parent said to their kid, "Oh, those people are N-words."
Oh, for sure.
Like-
No, there are. There's
There's
some.
definitely some that
But-
say that.
They're in a very small minority.
Oh, yeah.
They're not bright. And they might be bright, but they're crazy, you know?
Sure.
So,
Sure.
They aren't the kind of people you'd want to be around anyways.
yeah, 100%. And that swings both ways. You know, there's a small portion of black people that do the same thing with white people to their kids, and there's a small portion of Hispanic people that do the same thing to blacks and white people with their kids. You know, it's just
Sure.
the nature of being is that there are people out there who are not great.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Surely.
So let's let it die, folks, huh? Let's just let it die. We got bigger problems to worry about.
Bigger fish to fry.
You have a good life in this country.
We have the
Yeah.
opportunity to elect Kanye. Why aren't we focusing
Dude,
on that?
I cannot wait to vote against Kanye West.
I just hope I
that's
don't
one
know
of
us.
Nah. I don't know. Honestly, dude, I don't know. I don't even want to get into the Kanye thing right now.
All right,
Go ahead, Doug.
we can move past
If you
that.
got something to say about it, go ahead.
I honestly think he's a better option than Joe Biden.
Oh, for sure. 1,000%.
That says something very serious about who we're electing to Congress.
The problem is, like, what if he forgets he's president, thinks he's gangster again? He's got control of those buttons that...
What up, Russia?
yeah. Like,
Oh, he is way too
I'm
unstable
going
for the White House.
to gang sign my way to this button here. Boom!
Yeah, he's way too unstable for the White House.
The
for
other
sure,
day,
but-
Shadow was looking up just what happens if you Google Kanye. And the first, 9 or 10 articles are about his bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
That's probably not a great thing for a president.
Is he legit bipolar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Diagnosed
like
full on.
serious. But I guess he must not use his meds or something.
I don't think he's very good at it. Because he goes a while where he doesn't have anything happen, and then all of a sudden he has to move a Wyoming
He's off the
for a
rails. Yeah.
Here's the thing about, like medication changes, alters your
while. Oh, for
personality, you know? So I'd imagine he loses creativity when he doesn't feel in his own skin. I'm sure it's just I'm sure it's brutal being on those.
Well, especially
medications. It's-
somebody of his creative
Yeah.
nature.
Also, you can follow the change in his music a little bit
Oh yeah.
because his first albums are a tortured soul, but they're amazing.
Yeah.
A creative genius, and then they drop off
Yeah.
because he got his
don't
life
know,
together. He got medicated, and it affected him creatively for sure.
Yeah. I do pity anyone that has to be on those medications. I know they don't want my pity, but it sucks for you, bro. You know.
Yeah, it's hard.
But they can do a lot of good.
Hope so. I also hope that if he does win,
Shut up, nurse.
if he does win, he
Stays on him for 8
stays
years.
on for a year.
They can
8
go-
years?
Hey, if you promise me right now you can go 8 years taking your meds every day, I will vote for you for president.
Also, he posted a video of him registering to vote last week.
He did.
Yeah. I'm registered to vote for the first time ever, America.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So,
There's
that.
Yeah, I think,
there's that tangent.
dude, I honestly think it's a strategy by the Trump campaign to split Democratic votes, which I think is dope. I
You're
think it's
subscribing to that
genius.
conspiracy?
For sure. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't
Oh.
you? And it seems exactly like something Trump would do, you know?
Well, and he picked the perfect guy for it because
sure.
people love him no matter what,
Yep.
and he's just unstable enough to do that.
And
Like, he'd actually
and,
do that.
And his big buddy Trump says, "Hey, you should run for president, bro." And he's like, "Against you, man? I don't want to do that." He's like, "Nah, you should though. Like, I think you should try it." He's like, I'm up for friendly competition, you know? I mean, he's
Well, and
got him
freaking his mother-in-law knows exactly what she's doing when it comes to marketing. She's like, oh, guess what this is going to do? Sell us
Money.
TV shows. All we have to do is say, yeah, he's having a bipolar episode.
Dude,
she gets
maybe.
all her girls together. He's having a bipolar episode. That's all this is. We're selling TV shows.
I don't know.
It
Maybe
works out, dude.
maybe his mother-in-law's smart enough she can get him into office. She's like, "All right, you gotta have a sex tape here and have a sex tape here. Boom! Next thing you know, you're having a sex tape in the White House."
Genius.
Dang, dude.
That's how we get out of this national deficit.
Oh, for sure. So
I didn't realize you just
Selling-
solved all our problems.
selling Kanye's sex tape.
Yeah.
None of them with Kim, oddly enough, but they're still married. I don't know.
Dang, bro.
Kim's done her sex tape time. I'm not saying she's a gold digger.
Oh, shoot. Well, there's that tangent for you. Kanye 2020.
Yeah,
I
for
can't even
sure.
say it seriously, dude.
For sure.
I can't even say it seriously.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. The conspiracy's real.
It's got to be. Because I mean, they were buddy like
week
2
and a half
months
ago.
ago, you know,
Yeah.
and like Kanye's gonna vote for Trump. Now all of a sudden he's running against him for president. Trump's like, well, you can still vote for me, but let's do something else here.
Yeah.
Which makes a ton of sense. Plus, Kanye's huge on the whole racism thing, and Joe Biden is the worst, dude. Like, every time he talks, I'm like,
I think it's a great idea for Joe Biden to be the Democratic elect because I don't think he has a chance.
oh,
Honestly.
yeah, it's brutal.
We need to talk about that.
Dude, but the
What are you people thinking?
Even
Running
though
Joe
my,
Biden? What is going on in your head?
The strictly liberal people I know, they say anybody but Biden or Trump. Like they aren't even for their
Here's
own
the
guy.
thing. Watch the running mate, because they'll pick some super socialist running mate.
AOC.
And Joe Biden, if his faculties aren't enough to get him thrown out of office, and they'll turn on him.
Oh, yeah.
And if his faculties aren't enough to get him thrown out of office, then the crap that he was doing in Ukraine and China with his son is enough, and they will throw him out. They'll all turn on him. We'll have whoever his running mate is as
Interesting.
president. That's what they're voting for, is that running mate. If he doesn't die, you know, I mean, he's in
Yeah.
rough shape, dude.
Well, and they've proved they're willing to kill people. They're not scared of that, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Hey, dude, if you don't believe they kill people, then I got a
maximum
What's it called?
security
Yeah, maximum
suicide.
security suicide to sell you. Freak. Oh, speaking of which, his Jeffrey Epstein's second in charge.
Ghislaine.
She's got sent to the same prison that he died at, that he committed
There's
suicide in.
Pretty crazy conspiracies floating around about her. Like her dad's like responsible for not only the development of he was a huge player in the creation of the Israeli state, but he was also huge in the founding of Mossad.
Interesting.
Wow.
And Mossad uses that stuff like Epstein does. Supposedly the CIA doesn't try and compromise people by putting them in and blackmailing them, but I guess Mossad does. Like they've been known to.
The CIA doesn't do it because it's wrong, but
Yeah.
it definitely happens within the CIA somehow.
I'm sure the CIA
by
does,
accident,
But Mossad's less picky about it. They're like, look, man, we're surrounded by wolves, bro. We got to do whatever we can. And the U.S. is like, no, we're better than that.
We're good people.
We're going to pretend we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready to get into it?
Let's do it, bro.
This one goes out to
Take us out.
the local folks here in Utah County. Talking about the Utah County Citizens Alarm, or the Utah Citizens Alarm. What are you people doing?
Well, what's the Utah
down.
Citizens Alarm?
Sorry. Utah Citizens Alarm is a private Facebook group. They're organizing. They don't want to call it a counter-protest for some reason, but they're organizing a counter-protest or a counter-revolution against Antifa and Black Lives Matter. And it was sold to me as, hey, we're out here protecting our property. But I don't think that that's what they're all about. Would you agree?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you think they're all about.
They're how do you say this? Oh, they're a bunch of just bootlickers for the police. It's you have to be 100% for the police. You're not allowed to talk to the protesters when you go to a counter protest, and it's a counter communism group that is using.
Do they specify communism?
No, they don't. At least nowhere. I haven't seen anywhere on the Facebook page. That's part of the problem too, is it's a Facebook group, so it's not really organized under one belief system. But the main admins and the people that are in charge are all. You have to be 100% cop. You have to be for us all the way, and we're gonna go out there and counter protest, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Do you have any thoughts from your experience at the protest, Rocky?
I went to the protest scheduled in Payson. I watched the pre-protest meeting by the UCA on Facebook, and I shut it off when they said, we do not talk to the other protesters. I think that some people did break that rule, but I don't like first of all, I don't like the whole take charge sort of thing, I prefer it to be spontaneous. There weren't any leaders. I went to a few like Freedom Works things, and there were leaders, and they all they did was say. So I went to a Freedom Works. It was at the Utah Republican Caucus. Freedom Works was campaigning against Orrin Hatch. I went. Me and my friend were the only two people that went for the state of Utah. And Freedom Works had a few people there, but they weren't doing any of the protesting. They were leaving it to the locals, which was me and my friend. And we argued with a bunch of Orrin Hatch people. And Matt Kibbe was actually there. Matt Kibbe is the founder of Freedom Works. And he was like, look, this is your state. Do it however you want. See, here's the flyers that we printed up for you guys to take out, you know. Boom. I went and argued with every Orrin Hatch voter out there. We started trying to flip delegates. Most of them were already set in their ways. I don't think we did a lot of good. We had one guy say something to the effect of, I would vote against him, but the people in my area
Murder him for it?
want me to vote for Orrin Hatch.
Sure.
To which I said, that's not how this works. This works, they vote for you so that you'll vote for your conscience. So we might have flipped him, but I don't think so. He seemed pretty set on voting against his own conscience in order to be more democratic, which we don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic, but...
Oh, boy. Don't...
Dude, it was brutal up there, dude. Like, there were old ladies telling us they hate us and that they don't appreciate us and that we can go back to whatever state we came from. I had to show my driver's license a bunch of times to prove I was from the state of Utah. Like,
Good on you for doing that.
they thought I was from out of state and they still didn't believe me. They were still incredulous when they saw my driver's license that I wasn't from the state of Utah. I'm like, look, man, I've probably lived here longer than you have. I'm from the state of Utah.
I've never left the state.
Yeah, so, but I left once, just kidding. So that's how a political movement should be, you know. And so I go to this protest, and I didn't take a gun. I didn't affiliate myself with the UCA in any way. So I went over to the protesters, the anti-cop protesters. I talked to them, and it was the same thing. I started talking. The leader comes up. I'm the leader of this. You can talk to me. I'm like, I turned to the other people. I'm like, you guys aren't allowed to talk? To which he said, oh, well, they could talk, but I'm the leader, so I know what's going on. I'm like, oh, okay.
So these people don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay. It turned out to be... It looked really bad in my eyes for the UCA. If it had been marketed right from the protesters' point of view, because the protesters were super peaceful. The person who put on the protest in Payson was a granddaughter of a city councilwoman. And so the people that showed up was the granddaughter, her half-brother, who is of African-American descent, and a couple of his friends, and then the rest were this Payson City Councilwoman's Latter-day Saint friends. Like, it looked bad because there was a bunch of freaking guys with AKs and ARs patrolling this park, circling a bunch of Mormons, dude, who looked a lot more clean cut than anyone holding a gun. You know, if they had marketed it right, they could have painted that side to look really bad, you know. But, like, look at them protecting them from us, you know. We're not even... And they both sides remained peaceful, but I didn't like... Because the leader got up and said, let's just not talk to these counter-protesters, and I'm like, what are we doing? This is exactly what the elites are going for. All that girl would have had to say was, look, gentlemen, Philando Castile was killed by a cop for having a legally carried concealed weapon. He didn't even pull the weapon and was shot 7 times in the chest. I know you think you're protecting these police, but we can both have issues with cops. We don't have to burn down our own neighborhoods for sure, but being 100% police officer when they make mistakes like that, and there are bad guys on police forces, and they tend not to rat the bad guys out to the citizens that they are supposed to serve. I mean, she could have easily flipped the other side, and the other side could have easily gone like, look, we this is the greatest country in the world, but we need to take personal responsibility for our own safety, you know?
Yeah.
We need to not be... And they were all about it. They were all bootlicking those cops. Every cop there, you know, was surrounded by guys with AKs who if the order came down, my guess would be 90% of those cops would take your gun. On orders. That's what cops do. They don't want to think about the orders they're given. They just want to follow them. And I'm not saying every cop's like that. I mean, there are organizations within police forces called Oath Keepers that take an oath. They will not break that oath to uphold the Constitution. But a lot of them aren't those guys, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of them are just out to do their job.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like any, yeah.
On both sides, what are we doing? What are we protesting? What are we fighting for? We're not trying to change people's minds if we're not willing to talk to the other side.
A massive flaw in the ideation of both sides.
Yeah, it is.
Communication is the most important thing you can do with anyone.
Yeah,
And it was from both sides. It's not a one-side issue. We're not saying that the Black Lives Matter people were on the wrong or that the Utah Citizens Alarm was. It was on both sides. Both sides didn't want you talking to the other side because the other side might have some good ideas that will change your ideology. Is that the problem? No, it's the exact problem we have with the political party system in general.
Yeah. What effect did either protest have if neither
Zero.
side talked to the other?
Zero effect. It was the most ineffective protest I've
Anybody
ever
walk
seen.
away with any new knowledge
No.
aside from maybe
Heck
you?
no. Yeah, and that's the thing. Wait,
maybe you who wasn't affiliated with either group?
I went with the intent, or it was definitely there. The possibility for me to commit violence was there. Had I found a single member of Antifa there with a bike lock looking to hit somebody, I'd have fought him in a heartbeat. I'd have swung first. I wouldn't have gone to fence. I think these Antifa guys are scumbags, and I challenge any one of them who might be listening. I'm sure there's not one listening, but if they are,
Not this far into the podcast.
if they are, feel free to set a time and a place in the comments section, and I'll meet you there. I hate these Antifa guys. They are pieces of crap, and I showed up at that park with the intent of committing violence against anyone there from Antifa. I'd have gone to jail for it. I don't care. These guys have to know that the counter-revolution is here and will stomp their guts in if they decide to pull bike locks on guys like me. I hate Antifa. I went there with the intent of doing violence against Antifa, and guess what? Antifa wasn't there. It was just a protest. It was a silly 17-year-old girl putting on a protest because she feels like her brother, who is African American, is picked on by Payson PD.
She's just trying to get into an Ivy League school. She needed to put her apart from the others.
I don't think she's
Good on her, bro.
Her brother has been arrested like 4 times. He's 16 years old. I don't know the kid from Adam, but my guess would be he's deserved to be arrested 4 times.
At least once, right? Jeez.
But and I have an exceedingly hard time believing that Payson PD's like, well, there's one black kid in our town, let's go pick on him, without some sort of
Got to fill the quota of arresting black people.
Yeah, without some sort of just cause. I've met most of the police officers in Payson. They are little order following pansies, but they're not racist, in any way. They are not racist. So I just,
And now,
So
can you
I
imagine
learned-
being trained like that? And now we're going to go pick on this black kid for 45 minutes, and then we're going to go write traffic tickets.
Exactly.
Wait, that
When's
seems
lunch?
wrong.
When's lunch? So I just don't. So I learned a couple things. Antifa doesn't care about Payson, Utah, which I suspected in the first place. And 2, UCA was there in force. There was at least, I said 25 guns before, but I think that was low. I think there was at least 50 ARs and AKs. There was only one AK. It was cool. It was a super cool gun. But there was a bunch of cool ARs too. There was probably 50 of those, and everyone had a sidearm as well,
And plus all the concealed that you didn't see.
Yeah, and it's like, okay. First of all, they're all like, yeah, make sure you have a permit to carry your weapons. Like, first of all, don't need a permit to carry it open. And second of all, what are you talking about? Are you pro-gun or not? Make sure you ask the government permission to carry that gun. Are you kidding me? You bootlicking pansies? What a joke, dude. What a joke. We're all about freedom. Are you? Are you about freedom? Because it seems to me
No.
like you're just about bootlicking, you know? Seriously? I'm all about carrying these guns, but I'm going to get permission first. Okay. That's
sure
not
it's
what
okay.
that's not what the Second Amendment is all about. The Second Amendment is about defending your natural right to defend yourself. That's all it's about. Not going to Governor Herbert and asking him for permission to carry your gun.
And working closely with local law enforcement to be their eyes and ears in
Yeah.
order to ensure peaceful outcomes.
Yeah, who
So
could
ratting
have possibly
the police
done
and
that?
make sure
Yeah.
that that's straight
Right,
from the
yep.
group description,
Yep.
straight from Facebook.
See something, say something, tattle on your neighbor. Yep, right there.
Yeah, where have
Make
we,
sure
where have
Big
we
Brother
seen that
knows.
before? Where have we seen that before? I know it happened in communist Russia.
Oh, yeah,
I know it happened in fascist Germany.
yeah,
It definitely happened in Mao's China.
mm-hmm.
So,
For sure.
That's the only way to protect yourself is to tattle on your neighbor, you know?
See something, say something is a terrible rule.
So,
Mind your own business.
yeah.
Save yourself.
Protect your property.
So, yes, 100%. The Black Lives Matter protest in Payson, the Black Lives Matter protesters were hoodwinked. They put on a protest. It served the purpose of to create a little chaos for the communist revolution. However, the counter protest was just as hoodwinked. So the counter. Look, I'm all about it. All of you show up, but the cops have nothing to do with it. Be like, we are defending our property, and that's it. You don't have to say we are defending our property and these wonderful police that we have. No. Those cops.
You mean
are,
the overfunded Payson
are
Police
are
Department?
way more armed and have way more ability to defend you than you of them. Don't do that. Don't do that. They will. If this gets out of hand and they decide to flip the script, the chaos gets out of hand. A strong man's elected who wants to start a dictatorship. All he has to do is crush this little rebellion here with using the police, saying, "Look, I'll take care of it." And that's not exactly how it worked. It's worked before. They usually defund the police and then they start their own police force. But a lot of times the police are just joining this other police force that's not called police. Typically it's called something like brown shirts or black shirts. Then they go
Or KGB or
and they
Gestapo.
kill the. I think that in the Russian Revolution it was the Soviets were the. But I don't know. Anyways, so.
I think you're right.
Either way, so Black Lives Matter is depending on the state for, say, they want more welfare. They want better health care, and you're just depending on the state for your protection. Both of those things are your responsibility, not the state's. You're both depending too much on the state for what you need. The state is there for one reason, to protect us from foreign governments. And even that, they take too far, I think. When they invade Libya and stuff like that, and Iraq. But
Wait, you mean we don't need to invade places?
well,
Regime change wars.
I wouldn't think so. But what do I know?
Next, you're going to tell me we don't need a war on drugs. Come on.
Oh, it all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that back.
No, it's true though. It's 100% true. These guys are just as, responsible. I mean, defending the overreaching law enforcement, whether you think they're racist or not, which I think vastly they're not racist. And I think vastly most of them are really good people. My neighbor's a Provo cop. I think he's dope, dude. He's a super cool guy. He's in the Air Force. He just got back from Jordan. He does cool stuff, But and he's jacked now too, dude. He just went over there and worked out.
And that's why Rocky really likes him.
I used to be the jacked guy on the block. Now he is, but it's like
Time to start the anabolics.
I think you're probably also the jack. Can there be two jack guys on the block? Okay.
You don't know how
either
life
I'm the
works,
best or
Shadow.
nothing at all. No, but it's like, but good people did horrible things in Nazi Germany. good people did horrible things in the Soviet Union. And I'm not saying that my neighbor's going to do horrible things. I think he's one of the ones that won't. But I just don't.
And
If we depend on the government, I just don't see why we can't take personal responsibility as the UCA. And I'm not saying we, because I won't join them. But why can't the UCA take personal responsibility for? If they would take personal responsibility, I would join them. But they're just here. Oh, we're just protecting cops, law and order. Look, there are changes that could be made here, and this is a perfect opportunity to make those changes.
Yeah, and it's the exact. They're two sides of the exact same coin. They're both fighting for, not for freedom, but for the illusion of safety.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
the illusion of freedom. They're fighting for that, but that doesn't exist. That's not what you're fighting for. You're fighting for, if I don't have to think about this, then I must be safe. I must be protected. I must be peaceful.
Bingo.
No, that's not the case at all. These guys don't exist to protect you. They exist to solve crimes.
And to pull and now in this society they exist to collect a tax.
Yeah.
Taxation by.
They're privateers. They're government hired road pirates.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Dope.
Yeah, dope. But you get that lady in North Carolina. Her car's surrounded by Black Lives Matter. She calls the cops. They say, we can't come out to any protests. She's like, I have a kid in the car. They're going to kill me. I'm scared for my kid. They said, well, make sure you don't run anyone over when you pull out of there. Are you kidding me? Don't call the cops in that situation. Get your foot on that throttle and get the hell out of there and protect your kid. That's crazy. That's crazy. That right there shows you that we are sheep and we are looking to the cops for our protection when we should be to steal from that fighter that's a Green Beret, fought Yoel Romero and lost.
Tim Kennedy.
To steal from Tim Kennedy, we should be the sheepdogs. We are the ones responsible for our protection. The sheep are our children and our wives, but even our wives should be sheepdogs to an extent, to the extent that they can.
Anyone you care about is a sheep in this instance.
Yeah. We should be our own protectors, we shouldn't have to turn to these flawed men in badges, which we need a police force. I get it, 100%. We can't just
They have
chaos.
their purpose, but it is not your own safety at all times.
Yeah, it is not your safety, and in my mind, it's not solving drug crimes. Because
that's a waste of time for everyone.
That's retarded and a waste of money, and it kills Mexican citizens.
A waste of so much.
And blacks. That's a huge part of the black crime and everything. If we could get rid of all the laws around drugs, I understand why people don't want to do it.
Sure.
But if we got rid of all the laws surrounding drugs and put that money in towards helping people get off of drugs, it'd be a much better system.
Or put half the money into.
Yeah, a quarter of the money would make
we
a massive difference.
So much money on drug enforcement that it's insane.
Massive difference.
Yeah.
Even the money we spend on destroying the drugs that are confiscated, just that money would make a huge difference.
Yep. So, UCA, are you for personal responsibility or not?
Are you for safety or not?
Because it sure seems like
Or
you're
for
just
freedom or not.
You're just for bootlicking, these cops.
Blindly support something you don't even
And
know.
look, as an American citizen, it's our responsibility to resist any movement that could become tyrannical in this country. And the police force not only could become tyrannical, but has become tyrannical. Just not in the way that Black Lives Matter
And
thinks.
100% support. What are you talking about?
I know.
That is
It's crazy.
completely ridiculous.
100
You can't disagree with anything they do.
Yeah.
100% includes the guy that knelt on a man's neck for 9 minutes.
And killed him.
That's not a problem for you guys?
Or the gentleman in Arizona that had "You're effed" stamped in the side of his AR-15 when he shot a man on his face, begging him not to kill him. Had gym shorts on, so he couldn't possibly be hiding a weapon, and he shot him.
100% means you support those people.
Or the poorly trained cop who killed Philando Castile
Because he got nervous.
because he
in a
got
traffic
scared.
stop?
Yeah, I mean, come on, folks. We don't have to support 100% of what they do.
They make
when
mistakes.
when
Why
a cop
can't you see that?
when a cop brings in a child molester, when a cop finds a missing child, when a cop shoots a gunman that's killing innocent people, booyah, 100%, I'm on board.
Thank you for your service.
But
in that time.
when a cop writes me a stupid traffic ticket or arrests my buddy for marijuana, why?
Why is he hurting?
Yeah, why am I supporting that? Why am I supporting tyrannical tyrannical taxation through regulation? Through not regulation, but through infraction. I mean, that's all it is. They are making money off of us by making up silly rules that we have to follow.
By creating crimes.
And we just go, bah, I'm a sheep with an AR-15. I'm cool. Look how cool I look with my AR-15. Bah. Like, come on, man. What are you doing?
And we could draw example after example from history. Like, of this not working. Of what this tyrannical control through infraction, just like Rocky said, we can draw example after example after example of it not working because they exist. We've seen them not work. Why are we trying it again? Why are we convinced that it will work? That, oh no, this time the police officers are good people. That didn't change it ever. That has never changed it throughout history. The police officers being good people doesn't make a difference when the system itself allows them to be tyrannical and
Almost
creates
like
tyranny.
People are imperfect and they need to be held accountable for their imperfections.
Bingo.
Oh.
Bingo,
Something
bango.
like that.
How dare you preach that?
Bingo, bango.
Crazy
yeah.
doctrine there.
We, look, and I'm not saying, resist cop and everything you do, but when a stupid cop pulls you over for a traffic ticket and asks you, hey, where you going? Where you been?
None of your
Officer,
business.
that's none of your business, sir. Or, I'm sorry, but I don't answer questions because that's them trying to build a case against you. No matter what. That's all any polite question a cop asks you in any sort of situation is them building a case against you.
That's
Resist
just
that.
Before he reads you your Miranda
They
rights.
should not be in the habit of getting answers to those questions. They should be in the habit of getting resistance on those questions every time. Every time. Because all they're doing is building a case against you. That's all any question is designed for. Even if it's just getting you to breathe in their direction to see if you're drunk, they're still just building a case against you. So if they ask you a question, you turn and answer, they smell alcohol. Boom. That's all they're doing.
Absolutely. They're restricting your freedom.
And believe it or not, the war on drunk driving is just another war that's taking your civil liberties. I know you think they're protecting you from all these drunk drivers out there, but people get killed in car accidents all the time. And it's become, even the founder of MAD resigned because it became a witch hunt. Because they were arresting old folks for driving on their medication. They were arresting people who were tired, It's become a witch hunt, another way for them to control the masses. And
MAD is Mothers Against Drunk Driving, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's not. It is a conspiracy theory, but a supernatural one. Satan is the one pushing this. Not to mention it's man's natural disposition to move toward
Order
tyranny.
and control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toward
Being controlled.
Yeah, toward being controlled. That's what the founders discovered in their research to start this country, was that man will move toward tyranny. So they set up a government to hopefully prevent that. And all we have to do is resist the tyranny. We don't have to abolish the cops. We just have to resist their moves toward this. When they start illegalizing drugs and cops start kicking in the wrong doors and shooting people in their beds, that's when it's time to start resisting their tyranny. It's crazy.
Probably before that was the time to start
maybe.
resisting their tyranny.
When-
but we're at that point
When
where now's the time.
when Mexican citizens started being murdered and their rich country kept in a third world state because of corruption because of the drug war that we started, that maybe was the time to stop.
To resist tyranny.
But do brown lives matter? Probably not. Not when we're not watching them die. You
They're
know,
not in America. It's not a direct cause, so they don't
Yeah.
matter.
Unbelievable.
but I'm the racist because I don't know. I didn't stand with the single black kid in Payson who gets picked on by the police. You know, even though I can see right in front of my eyes that he just is a dumb kid who does dumb stuff. You know how I know that? Also a dumb kid who did dumb stuff.
But you were never arrested.
Oh, yes, I was.
Tons of times.
Fortunately for me, I'm not black, so I don't have to assume the cops are racist. I can just
No, you were arrested
I
for
can-
your crimes.
I
He was
can
arrested
take
because he's black.
I
for
can
sure.
take personal responsibility and realize, oh, that cop's treating me like crap because he's a jerk, and I'm getting arrested because I'm a jerk. You know?
Because I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you learn that.
How dare I? But you know, keep taking sides. Keep letting them divide us. You know. I think honestly, those two groups down there in Payson could have found common ground so easy, dude. So easy.
It definitely was there.
And they
the
didn't.
option was there.
Yeah, they didn't. They refused to even talk to each other, and it blew my mind. And it was frustrating as hell. And my wife was down there like, she knew I was down there with ill intent, you know, and she came with me, and I allowed her to come because I suspected there wouldn't be any Antifa there. And had there been, I probably would have just said, hey, you should go to the car. And then maybe something bad would have happened to Antifa. But I don't, again, call out to Antifa. You guys are scumbags. Feel free to.
If you've listened this far already and you haven't already commented a time and a place,
Feel free to catch me outside.
how about that?
How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? FAFO. F around, find out. Anyways, but even my wife was like, oh, I was really impressed with the way you... Because the girl was... The leader was real nervous, you know. She was shaky. She was like... I was obviously her first resistance that she had discovered because I was asking. I wasn't even aggressive against her. I was just asking questions because one of the list, they were reading a list of black people who had been killed by police officers, and one of them was Trayvon Martin. I was like, was Trayvon killed by a cop? Well, no, but he was killed, you know. And so I was the first resistance that she had obviously experienced, and And so she was real nervous. She was real shaky. And at the end of our talk, I said, hey, calm down. You're doing good. If you believe in this, if you believe in what you're doing, be confident, you know? Push what you're doing. Be confident. Answer the questions with your chin up. And, you know? And it's hard to answer questions when you're wearing those stupid masks, man. And I don't know if we want to get into COVID this episode, but my gosh,
Definitely not.
you sheep wearing those masks are so lame, dude. So lame. So lame. For example, my friend from high school posted a picture on Facebook. I guess she's my friend from like kindergarten. We went to high school. Or we went to school together. She was in our ward for a long time. She posted pictures of her and her significant other, and I believe their roommate, camping, you know, so we're way out in the woods, hiking with masks on, with people she lives with. Hey, thanks for not getting the trees sick, I guess. What are you sheep doing? But anyways, sorry, I digress. The girl, I encouraged her to be confident, and my wife was really impressed with that. And even though I vehemently, I'm sure, disagree with what she has to say,
As she would disagree with you as well.
for sure. But
On nearly
she
everything.
should be confident, you know, and I hope this leads to a long life of activism for her. You know, I hope it was a good experience. And I hope that she comes around to the true side of things, but who am I to say what's true?
Well, and even that, ideally, it will lead to a lifetime of realizing there are people on the other side who are willing to listen
Sure.
and to learn. Because that should be the intention of the protest,
Yeah.
is to teach people and to help people see your point of view and see why you're in so much pain. The riot is the language of the unheard. Well, then the protest is the language of people who want to be heard. And so be heard. Find people who will listen and talk to them.
Yep. And so what I learned from this protest is this. The puppeteers behind this communist revolution are winning because they've got us not talking to each other.
Oh, but Rocky, how do you know it's a communist revolution?
They've got us not fighting. I've explained that already, folks. If you don't know this by now, you're being hoodwinked.
I want to get into that again, actually. I know we've talked about the communist revolution already, but it's more blatant than I realized from the last couple episodes. Black Lives Matter. They have a mission statement on their website. It is brutal to read, especially if you've read the Communist Manifesto, because they just lifted ideas straight out of the Communist Manifesto's pages. One of the main themes in the Communist Manifesto, if there is a revolution happening, it doesn't matter what they're fighting for, you join that revolution. Black Lives Matter did that. This is not their revolution. This is not their fight. They simply joined the protests that were already happening over the Trayvon Martin case. People were protesting.
George Floyd case.
No. I'm going back to the Trayvon Martin case. There were protests happening because of the acquittal of George Zimmerman in the Trayvon Martin case. There's protests happening, and Black Lives Matter sneaks in and says, "This is our protest. This is our movement. We're here for you. We're here to support you." And they began protesting from that time up until now. They've been protesting Black Lives Matter because that's the issue that was already being protested by other people. This organization is corrupt. They're simply piggybacking off the movement to defund the police. They're simply piggybacking off that issue. And it's straight out of the pages of the Communist Manifesto. Karl Marx says it time and time again. Just piggyback off whatever revolution's happening. I promise. That's the way to go. Piggyback off that revolution.
And it always works out that they take over the revolution, and the original revolutionaries end up in Gulag. So have fun with that, anarchists. Continue.
We practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with their contexts. It just says comrades on there. That's a red flag to me, in that's what they said in the Soviet Union. That's what they called each other. For that minor reason only. But this one, we disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. That's a really fancy way of saying they don't support a mother and a father raising their children on their own. They support the state raising their children.
Yeah.
That's Marxist ideology. Straight out of the Communist Manifesto. They don't support the idea of morality, and they don't support the idea of a family being the ones that control the upbringing of their children. It's a state-run upbringing of their children. It is a Marxist and a wicked and a pernicious ideology that we are allowing to lead out on this revolution.
Yeah, and comrade comes from, everyone called each other comrade because it was supposedly made everyone equal.
Yeah.
You are my comrade, that is it.
Yeah.
But it never really works out like that, does it? Anyways.
It's the illusion of equality.
Yeah.
Just like it's the illusion of safety, it's the illusion of equality, because we're creating equality of outcome, and it ruins countries. Equality of outcome doesn't work. Equality of opportunity is important, and it is an important distinction, because equality of outcome is communism, and it doesn't work. It ruins lives, it ruins countries, and it ruins economies.
Yep. On a world where you are sent to die, safety is always just an illusion.
Yeah. And all this business about supporting the LGBTQ movement, that's just a lie to get them in power. Once they're in power, we'll see how long that support lasts.
Yeah.
Well, historically, we've seen how long that support goes, and it's not a long time, folks.
It won't last.
And they don't support minorities. The communists aren't about that. They're about gaining power, and as soon as they're in power, they'll support who they please. Because it's tyranny.
This is going to be offensive, but that's because people who are transgendered have a mental disorder. And they believe that too. They're just not telling you that. So beware the people just telling you what you want to hear. Because they think you have a mental disorder. And their way of solving mental disorders is far more cruel than our way. Their way of solving mental disorders is a bullet to the head behind the chemical shed. And our way is, well, let's talk to this professional and get you help. Get this figured out. So beware the people telling you what you want to hear.
Be very wary of them. And that's not us, because you probably don't want to hear what we're saying.
Nah. I barely want to hear what I'm saying.
Liar!
I love the sound of my voice.
Rocky's responsible for every single view of this podcast.
That's not true.
What's not true?
That I'm responsible for every view of this podcast.
Yeah, that's not true.
How
There's a
dare you.
lot of them. The majority of them.
Shut up. Get out of here.
The moral of the story is, if you go onto their website, the information's all there. They're funded, or the funds that you donate to Black Lives Matter go directly into the Democratic Party. If you say it's not a party issue, you're lying to yourself. It goes directly into the Democratic Party. You're upholding a communist revolution.
The Democratic Party, who is running a candidate who will obviously not be able to be a presidential candidate for very long, who will not be able to be president for very long. So you are supporting his running mate, who will be, I assure you, a Marxist revolutionary. Just you wait and see.
Just you wait and see. It's going to be ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of Act Blue Charities?
Negative.
So Act Blue is where the donations go through for Black Lives Matter. Act Blue Charities is... it enables left-leaning nonprofits, Democrats, and progressive groups to raise money on the internet by providing them with online fundraising. Your money is going straight from your pocket to the Democratic National Party. And fine, if you want to donate, if you're a Democrat and you want to donate to the party, that's fine. Do what you got to do. I'm not about political parties. I'm opposed to them. But if that's your belief and that's what you're donating to, donate to them. But don't be fooled into thinking that you're donating to Black Lives Matter when you're actually donating to the Democratic Party. It's on their website. All proceedings with this transaction, you agree to Act Blue's terms and conditions, and it goes straight from Black Lives Matter to Act Blue, which then distributes it to Democratic-leaning nonprofits and the Democratic Party. Know what you're donating to. Know what you're engaging in. That's all it is.
That's for all our Democratic listeners who haven't turned it off by now when I said transgender is a mental
They
disorder.
didn't even last that long, bro. As soon as you said, any of you Antifa guys, they turned it off, bro.
Gonna commit violence at you.
Dude, I will not hesitate to commit violence on an Antifa guy. They are scumbags, and I think that should be the default setting for all American citizens. Somebody says they're Antifa, boom,
Boom!
welcome to America. But my line for violence is a lot thinner than most, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, obscenely thin.
Not obscenely thin. I don't know. Whatever.
It was thinner back in the day. I think it's thickened up.
I don't know. Anyways.
You got more control in your life.
Oh, and Republicans, stop voting for Cox. My gosh. Cox is the Democratic, or Cox is the Republican governor, not male genitalia.
That's what I thought you were saying. I was like,
Pretty.
that is such a bold, overarching statement.
Spencer
love
Cox. He is not. He's gonna force you to wear those stupid masks, or in my mind, the
The American burqa.
No, that's Dad's mind. My mind is the mark of the beast is the mask because it shows you where your political
dude.
leanings are right there.
Dude,
Boom.
you better be careful saying that because guess who you're gonna vote for now?
Who?
Kanye.
Maybe.
I think
that
he's
what
the
he
first
said?
one that said that. Yeah, the
Really?
mask is the mark of the beast. He also said that.
See, we all identify with
He's
Kanye
already
somehow.
tricking me. He's sucking me into his spell,
He
bro.
also said that abortion is a part of the mark of the beast. It's a eugenics program designed to kill black children.
Yeah. Look up
Lower
Margaret
their
Sanger.
votes.
Look up Margaret Sanger. That's
The person who started Planned Parenthood.
who's 100% on board for killing black people. So all you black people in support of Black Lives Matter, you are supporting your own genocide. And that's all there is to it. 300,000 black babies murdered. Is it annually that are
I'm not sure.
killed through abortion?
It's a
That, folks, is a black genocide. And all you black people who support the Democratic Party, you're supporting your own genocide. I'm sorry. Hate to break it to you, but that's just the facts.
Yeah. Kanye raises some great points in his bonkers way.
Dude, he's not that far off on anything, dude. He's like,
Nope.
the only person that can enslave you now is yourself. And he's right. Be a slave to that victim mentality or rise above it.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. All right. Are we considering that issue pushed, or is there more on your mind?
You got more Jace today.
I'm good for today.
Jace was all full of pea and vinegar today, wasn't he? Urine and vinegar?
Just get
Yeah, he
angry.
was a little
Brutal, yeah.
He was a little bit. He's like, every time he talks, he's like, shut up, Rocky.
Cops come up and Jace is all about, get him out of here.
I hate people that don't see that cops are just people.
Yep, 100%.
Everybody is just a person.
Mm-hmm.
People have flaws. That's an obvious thing. Why can't people see that?
I don't get it either, bro. You the man. Fist bump.
Oh, and he's anti-vaxxed, too. Kanye is. No, Kanye
Oh, I
is.
was like,
Not
Jace?
Yeah,
Mr. Nurse?
I'm for vaccines, very much so. Yeah, everybody has their choice, and I'm fine with that. But personally,
I'm just honored
get
that this
vaccinated.
hero would come on our podcast at
Yeah,
all.
I-
This
I'm
medical
a-
professional
I'm
in
a
the
hero
face of
for sure.
COVID.
We're not worthy.
Wait, when do you get a job, bro? Have you been looking?
I've finally got my license back. I just got to throw a resume together because I've never done that before.
Sweet, bro.
So we'll see how that goes.
Cool, man. Your dad's sad
Probably.
to
I
lose
think
you.
it'll be pretty rough. We'll see.
Jace, I need
I've been
you.
there almost 10 years, so
That is crazy, dude.
yeah,
How old are you now?
23, almost 24.
23, almost 24.
But I've been helping my dad at least in the summers for
Sure.
as long as I can remember.
100%. Good on you, bro. Well, good. You deserve a good career and a good life, so
Thank you, appreciate that.
I couldn't have happened to a better guy for sure. So get out there, get a job, bro.
Will do. That's the next goal.
Dude, get that bag, bro.
Secure the bag.
Get that bag. All right, folks. We'll leave you until next week.
I don't get the bag joke.
Money?
Bag is money.
Oh,
It's a rap thing.
Oh,
You wouldn't get it. You're not
I
a
don't
degenerate.
understand it. I guess I'm too racist to understand these things.
I thought everyone knew what that was. I didn't even know it was a rap.
He's
thing.
not a big fan of Migos, apparently.
Get paid. Go out there and get paid.
I don't understand the Migos reference either. Dang, bro, I'm old. What's Migos? A rapper?
Yeah.
It's a rap
Yeah,
group.
he is.
Oh, a rapper. Are they Hispanic? Is that why they're Migos?
Nope, they're from
What?
Atlanta. They are very black.
Why Migos then? What does that mean?
Because there's 3 of them, of course. It's
Those
obvious.
Three Migos.
Three Migos? Nah, it's not obvious, but okay.
It doesn't. It's rap.
It's brutal, dude. Yikes. Well, there you go. That's how cultured I am, folks. Sorry.
This is
Sorry
Dan I Radio.
sorry to
I'm
put you through
Shadow.
that one. I'm Rocky.
No, I'm Jace.
Jace.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. God bless.